so I'll start recording since we got two of us. Yeah, so it's just the blessed is the man, the slow version.
It's Plagal first.
No, Plagal 4.
Oh, okay. Well, ended up on my Plagal first. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, because you were rehearsing it then.
Yeah, so number 9 and number 10. And so we'll just read through them one more time. And they're pretty straightforward. Let us break their bonds asunder, and let us cast away their yoke from us. Hallelujah. He that dwelleth in the heavens shall laugh them to scorn, and the Lord shall deride them. Hallelujah.
All right, third time's a charm.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, those are really straightforward.
Yeah, compared to some of the others.
Yeah, and they kind of, it's almost as if they're not brief, but they're kind of they're not long either.
Right. It's like, okay, take a breath.
So yeah. Okay. Any questions, John?
No, that was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Either that or you guys are getting good.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I think it's
The next couple of cards or so. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
We'll
already
use this
starts
out.
in a weird.
All right. So Dogmatic Theotokion, Plagal 1, in the Red Sea.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
we're
so
off
we're-
this? No.
Yep, we're off that. that
Oh.
was all that two a week we were doing. So I mean, with that easiness, we could do more, but.
Plagal. Is it the slow? No, the dogmatic.
Mhm.
Oh,
It is slow though.
I didn't state it. Well,
Let's
okay,
see.
sorry. See, I put this down. I will. Probably before that, that's right.
Yep. So. Yeah, right after the glory.
Right after here?
Right after that. So take out all the
Oh, this was your thing for
intermediary
last
pages.
week.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. There you are. Yep. Okay, so I believe we separated last week.
We did.
So let's just sing it through. Slow or at tempo? I'll leave it up to you guys.
Oh, what's our tempo?
Is it supposed to be slow
In
anyways?
the Red Sea,
That's
there
probably
was.
okay. We should be able to handle that. Maybe not quite.
And that's a good tempo.
Maybe approaching that.
Yeah. Anes. In the Red Sea, there was once depicted an image of the unwedded bride. There Moses divided the water remained undefiled. O thou who art and ever before this exist, and hast appeared as man, O God, have mercy on us. Okay.
All right.
I think I started to push the tempo, and I apologize
Maybe.
for that. I kept going faster. So,
Can we take that last bit again? Have
Sure.
the mercy. How does that go again?
have mercy on us. So that on the first part of us, the 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4,
That's right.
1, 2, 3. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, I remember we counted that out last time. I forgot in the interim.
Yeah.
I think the blameless one is,
That was the other part that
that's
kind
a
of
little
fell apart.
challenging. But I mean, it just couldn't keep up as.
Yeah, can we
I
take
get
that
what's
that
happening,
whole
but
Yeah.
phrase, the
can't
blameless
keep
one?
up
Sure,
somewhere, so I don't know.
and that's one of those things where you do hear some people do the blame. They just hold it. So right now we're just taking it at face value. Okay, so the remained untrodden. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Second line. Remained untrodden, the blameless, the blameless one, none. If you want me to stop fluttering, I can do that.
I think the fluttering, well, no,
I know that
that's
confuses.
good, but it confused me. But
Yeah.
if we did it without fluttering, I bet it would be easier. But
Yeah, I can do it without fluttering, and we can see, just to clarify.
right.
Yeah, let's try that one more time.
Okay. Without me fluttering, or?
Yeah, without you.
Okay, without me fluttering. Just from the blameless.
Sure.
The blameless, the blameless one, none.
Okay.
So, is the flutters?
Well, maybe. I mean, a couple more times through it, then you can probably throw the flutters back, and then we
Okay.
don't think they would mess anybody up.
Okay, let's do another time.
Yeah.
Let's do from remained untrodden.
Okay.
Remained untrodden, the blameless, the blameless one, none.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now? Do it again with me fluttering? Or?
Sure. Let's hear it with all
Okay.
the bells and whistles.
Okay, so remained untrodden, the blameless one, anon.
That was better.
Yeah. Okay.
Like once we know what the bones are, then you can
Yeah.
like.
Then you start realizing what is
Yeah.
actually in the music and what is not
Right.
actually in the music. The structure versus the accoutrement. Okay, so anything else in there?
No, those are the two tricky parts, I think.
And the major tricky thing with these is sometimes the fact that it's a longer hymn, you got to keep going.
Right.
And that's where pausing at times is fine,
Uh-huh.
especially to reboot, and then also breath capacity and swallowing. You know, that's a major thing.
Yeah, you have to like clear the throat and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm fine with moving on. If
Okay.
Okay, so
This
slow.
is kind of a cool thing to throw into the vest, you know, without like throwing all the slow stuff in there. Where we have an hour and a half vespers in, but you know, you could throw this one piece in.
Well,
it's
that's
sort of like a.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of a standalone thing. It's not like part of a series of Sekira.
Yeah, and that's what we ended up doing in Pittsburgh. Was very seldomly would we do all of the slow.
Yeah, right.
But we do slow, Lord I Pride,
Yeah.
and then do brief for everything else, and then do slow for the dogmatic, especially because the priest then gets some time to walk out.
Mhm.
So, and they're not kind of.
This is kind of a cool melody. I mean, this would be kind of a cool thing to do in a couple weeks.
You could
Yeah.
use this for weddings too.
Yeah.
A processional. Or
That's the recessional, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's the major recessional. The other one is the Universal Glory, Born of Men, toned one.
Oh, really? We should definitely iron out the kinks in this one then.
Yeah.
Maybe able to like trot that out in a couple.
Well, we have a wedding in January that we're gonna do.
Is that Thola, Michael Tholas?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so we're gonna do that. And I think they might want all chant, and I'm not sure.
Really?
So I have to iron out those kinks.
Okay.
But if they want all chant,
Mm-hmm.
we'll give them all chant, and we'll do some of that stuff. And John, we open in if you're interested in doing weddings.
In acrobatics.
Open up the invitation to more people. So.
Walking the tightrope.
Yeah. So. Slow Aposticha. Number 1. Let me look at 1 and 2 because I'm wondering. I'd like to sight read some of them and read some of them with the note name, but I'm not sure which need it more. Neither really needs it.
Yeah, this must really. I mean, mostly it's like a lot of rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we can try just reading it.
But I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
What's going on later on? Yeah.
No, despoiling the gates.
Oh, despoiling the gates. That's
Oh, let me look at my signals.
I can tell you, or you can tell me.
Well, I have to look at my chart.
I'll leave it up to all of you.
I should have committed to memory, but I haven't.
I know. It takes time. I could give you homework and be like, next week, you ought to reproduce that.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day in geography class where you were supposed to draw the United States or something like that.
Oh,
And my brothers and I did terribly. We drew Florida, and that was about it.
Yeah.
We knew where Florida was. And Texas was.
What else is there?
So that one's
This
diatonic,
Right.
and it's Heine.
Right. So that's what it is. I need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And then is that the enharmonic sign for that?
And harmonic right after that, yeah.
And then.
Now the
Never
funny part
changes?
is there's really no reason for them to put that there.
What for the knee?
for the knee. I'm trying to
Because
think of
you're gonna
why.
reach it anyways, right?
Well, I'm wondering if they missed it earlier, or if it's just because if you look on the first page, thou dost accept, and there's a flat there, but
Yeah.
that's a one-time flat. I don't know
Right.
why, unless they. I'm wondering if they missed a.
Changing it to something else earlier.
Yeah, it's always funny when they cancel it, but there's nothing. It didn't.
There's nothing. Yeah. Then you're wondering. Oh.
There's nothing to cancel.
Right. Is that in there wrong, or did they miss something else?
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Let me look real quick. Dear Christ our Savior. See, at least in the Western music, they don't write those things because it's just little flats, and so they don't. There's no reason for them to write them. Okay, yeah, I have no idea.
No.
I'm thinking they forgot it somewhere. That's my hunch.
They forgot what?
An enharmonic symbol earlier.
Oh.
Because otherwise, there'd be no reason for it because we're already diatonic, and that's
Right.
already high knee diatonic. Let's sing it through and see if we if I can think of any reason why or where it might be. Anes, Thee, O Christ our Savior, who was incarnate, and yet was not parted from the heavens, do we magnify with voices of song. For as the Lord who loveth man, thou didst accept the cross and death for the sake of our race, despoiling the gates of Hades, thou didst arise on the third day, saving our souls. Cool. And that was on tempo, just to let you know.
Wasn't
Oh,
it
no.
except for Hades? I don't know for some reason.
Yeah.
Wasn't the timing was if it's inharmonic, it didn't.
Gates of Hades. Hades, thou.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, besides that, despoiling is just a big jump, so despoiling the gates of, at the beginning, I was looking at this, Thee, O Christ our Savior, who wast incarnate, and yet was not parted from, I think they would have put an enharmonic symbol there, that's my inclination. Because you could do, and yet was not parted from the which, that's not how that works. So I'm pretty sure there should be an enharmonic symbol on, and yet was not parted on the ED.
Okay.
From the heavens do we magnify with, for as the, see, then you would have to cancel it there. For as the Lord who loveth man. I don't really know what they're doing here. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
So there should be another symbol in there, and I'm inclined to think on the fourth line, for as, that should be ke diatonic, the upside down lollipop, and then The six of the cross and... Let me look at the West music again.
Okay, well then you're still back to diatonic.
Yeah, I know.
Still don't know why
I'm
you're...
still trying to figure this out. For us... Yeah, there's... I don't know. It's a mystery. And I'm trying to decode it, and I'm adding symbols, but I'm not helping them.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I'm just making it clear for the rest of the music. Yeah, so it's there for a reason that I can't really figure out why. Okay.
Whatever.
Any questions on that one? Move on, or think it through again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Move on. Number 2. The Lord is King. And let's see. Do you want to start with this one too, or?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me take a look.
Oh, again, the argon and gorgon.
Oh, it's a really active.
That's a breath sound.
So the Eson is active, I agree. And then what was the thing about the argon and the Eson? Or in the...
Well, the symbols.
Where?
Over the he, over the X, after strength.
Oh, yes.
And then, is that a pause? Or is that supposed to be?
So, no. What that is, so in the verse, you see the one right next to verse number 2, and then it says, O Kyrios Evasilevson.
Right.
Evasilevson.
And so, yeah, so that's...
So that one, it means go fast. So that's like, the Lord is King, He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength. The next one is more walking tempo. And He hath girded Himself.
I see.
So it's just slowing you down.
It is an argon, and again, it's telling you to slow down.
Yeah.
After that, but I don't know why they put the gorgon in front of it.
Oh, that's the because. So if you remember, I don't know if Jeff, do you remember us talking about these at all?
About what?
These
These
tempo markers.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So you got this symbol, the chi,
Right.
and then you can put a bunch of things on top, but it's always going to be some sort of speed symbol. So it's either gorgon or argon, or diorgon, or something in there. So you have a few choices. You have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. All these guys.
Right.
That we know and love. So, this one is ultra fast. This one's kind of fast. This one is still pretty fast.
So it's like 8 to 16th or something? No, not just...
So essentially, you put something up here, and there's a certain tempo to them. This is, really, really, I don't think you would ever see that because it's really talky. This is talky, this is talky. In the middle between this one and the argon, you have this symbol, which it says it's somewhere in the middle. So this would be more your dun 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 dun. That type of thing, as opposed to this one by itself, which is da 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 da.
Da. Well, is that the equivalent of like breaking a quarter note down to an eighth to a 16th?
No, these are tempo markings.
It's just...
So this would be like, let's say 180, 160 beats per minute, 140 beats per minute, 120 beats per minute, 100, 80.
Oh, per minute.
Well, that's, tempo markings.
Oh, yeah, no.
So if it's like 1, 2, that's 60.
That would, yeah, I could see.
That's really slow.
Mm-hmm.
So that a little bit faster would be a Trubic hymn. Let us submit. But what we're doing is da 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 da, which is just slower than 120. So it's a little bit less than 120. So this is where these markings don't actually correspond. This is just like what it could be. But then the faster you get, the more you can't really do it as music, because you're not going to go, the Lord is King, He's clothed with majesty, the Lord is, you don't do that. So then it becomes talky. It's just, the Lord is King, He is clothed with majesty, the Lord is clothed with strength, and He hath girded Himself. So their way of doing that doing something up here, and when you put these two together,
Right.
it just means it's somewhere in the middle between the tempo
But
that would
it
have a
still
low
means to
gone.
slow down, huh?
Hmm?
It still means to slow down from when you
Slow down from where you were, yeah.
Okay. That's all it
Does
is.
that make sense?
Yeah, and it's,
So.
you know,
And you don't always see them. Sometimes they're there for emphasis, and sometimes they're there at like the beginning of a troupe hymn to just remind you, take it slow.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it's there because they know the rhythms are going to be too difficult to enact without slowing down a good bit. So again, you know, this one, and you'll see this at the beginning for any verse, is the fast symbol. It says, the Lord is King, he is clothed with majesty, the Lord is clothed with strength, and he hath girded himself. Yeah, but it kind of shortcuts itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so start reading this one?
Sure.
Okay.
Slowly.
Yep, so the Lord is King, we'll sing that one. The Lord is King, he is clothed with majesty, the Lord is clothed with strength, and he hath girded himself. When thy side was pierced, O giver of life, thou didst pour forth streams of forgiveness, life and salvation for all. Thou didst accept death in the flesh, thereby granting us immortality, and was dwelling in the grave, thou didst free us, and gloriously as God didst raise us up together with thyself. Wherefore we cry out, O friend of man, Lord, glory be to thee. Cool.
Can we share that phrase, glorious is God that raises us together with thyself?
Sure.
yeah.
And just one comment on that. So the second line of that phrase, raise us up. We've had that kind of before. Raise us up. So that's another one of those patterns. Just to memorize, to understand how it works. But in the heat of the moment, you don't look and be like, wait, where's the Gorgon go? You know,
Yeah.
this is just something you know.
Just have to remember.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's not as familiar.
And
I take your word for it that we've done it before.
I saw it just a second ago.
Maybe.
Oh
wow, in the
so-
very piece, maybe.
No, the previous one.
Oh yeah.
The cross and death.
Yeah, it's confused. The Sinica de la Front.
Right on the
And
the second page at the top.
And it's hard
Oh
to get
yeah.
the rhythm
Okay.
from that.
Sure.
But if you look cross and death on the
Yeah.
right before verse number 2,
Right.
is there too. Let's see. I don't think it was in the Dogmatic Theotokion if I don't
No.
recall.
But yeah, you're right. It's in the very first.
Yeah. So, it is in the Dogmatic Theotokion.
Oh really?
Yeah, here Gabriel doth. Here Gabriel.
Oh okay.
So we get it over and over again.
Alright.
So that, I mean, hopefully that proves my point.
Yeah, I'd say.
Cross and
I'm
death,
corrected.
raise us up. So, Yeah, and that's just. Yeah, I mean, any questions on that symbol pattern, or does that make sense?
Yeah.
John, you were saying something about the scenic saffron.
No, well, that's because, yeah, it's a little.
'Cause you get the
because you have
dot.
a fluctuation, plus you have this, then you have the gorgon and scenic, and you have all that.
Yeah, and you get the dot on the end
confusing.
of the scenic
Okay.
saffron.
Yeah, so it's.
So, yeah.
So you're doing a little.
Raise us up. But because you have that swoopy guy, the anti-canema.
Yeah, you do
The
it.
raise us up.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What? So what did you want? Oh, gloriously did it. Yeah. And gloriously as God.
Gloriously as God did raise us.
And gloriously as God did raise us up together with thyself. And then I'd like to do wherefore we cry out, because cry keeps going.
Yeah.
And then the end of out is a characteristic phrase which I want to talk about for a second. So, wherefore we cry out at the end of the piece. Wherefore we cry out. So,
maybe this would be one to be helpful to do the note names here.
okay. Here, let's do that one real quick. That sounds good to me. Any
No,
issues there?
that was helpful.
So the thing that I want to say is, wherefore we cry out. So what people do, and you hear this in Trubic hymns especially, is cry out. So what is written there is cry, the end of that line, cry out. That's not what you overhear in general. It'll at least be cry out, anticipating the note and jumping up above it. So if that, does that make sense, kind of what I'm doing there? And then what the other thing people will do is, instead of just cry out, they'll do cry out. So
that sort of makes more sense to me.
Cry out. So we're never holding it. It's out. That's a very active note there. And you see this again in Trubic hymns. You see this in the Kinonikon, the communion hymns of the day, the longer ones, in Plagal First, all the time. So that's one of those things. If you see out, it's always going to be elongated a little bit. At least to do out. So it depends who you're listening to and what they're feeling. You know, whether it's the more fancy one. Okay. Any questions on that besides this?
No, not really.
Okay. Let's go to the next one, I guess. Verse number 3.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No
scale changes.
no weird scale changes, but lots of movement.
Before we go through this, so beginning of this Aposticha number 3, strange is thy crucifixion and descent into Hades. We've seen that before.
Sure.
If you look on the second page of this one, who glorify who glorify thine arising. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's always how you approach it. This one has a little bit more ahead of it, but it's pretty much the same formula, and we've seen it before. We'll see it again. It's just
I'm getting pretty comfortable with that one.
yeah, and that's again patterns,
Yeah.
patterns, such that eventually the only thing you're reading are the nuances that you'd only find in this specific hymn. Everything else is what's the stress pattern of the words, and write something that fits that. That is kind of, I don't want to say cataloged, but in America they're cataloged, but elsewhere they actually know what to write with it. So at some point I would like to give you guys a text and say, here's a whole set of patterns, figure out what your stresses are, figure out where you want the text to go, and then to write it. Whether that be so that I can put it up online, or whether that be so that you all actually write the same text and then compare each other's composition type of things. And from everyone I haven't done it with too many people, but I've done it with a few, and then I have the other chanters up in Pittsburgh. They did it after I left with some of them to kind of push certain questions, and it's a true learning experience because you actually start thinking about what pattern do I want, how do I fit these together, how does the tone work, and what sounds good. So it's not an easy thing. I wouldn't say it's hard if you're following these things. If you're trying to write something just from scratch and not following a model, then it gets more tough. But okay, so I don't know if you guys would be up for that at some point.
Some point.
So I won't put that on tape,
Would be
of course.
nice to see
This
how
is
much
them
we
composing.
we could just sight read, or just read of the, not just sight read because anything, but once we learn something.
Oh, you mean just
And
go
then,
through?
and then you sing the E-song and let us
Yeah.
read
Oh yeah,
through this. That would be a good for before we get to that, what you're saying, because right now it's important.
Well, one
if
question.
you're thrown a piece of music, can you do it?
Can you read it? Yeah.
That's always been the fear.
There's two ways that I'd like to do that because I was thinking about that as well. So I like that you put that. One question is, do I can put you guys in a room? I think I did it once where I just said, you guys learn this. I'm gonna walk in the other room and figure it out corporately. The other way would be, you're in this room, you're in that room, Patricia's in another room. Figure it out on your own, and then come together and sing it. You know, to see can you work through it on your own. And so I think both would be beneficial.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious. Like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, you know, like final exam, you sing individually for me.
No.
Yeah.
That's like.
But I think if you're saying what I think you're saying, I think we would like opportunity sometimes like try to take the lead when you do an E-song behind us.
Right. That's when we just start off that way without.
Yep.
We've done it once or twice, and it's with varying degrees of success.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You don't
could probably
succeed,
stand
but you
somewhere.
learn something.
Yeah.
At least you get some confidence.
And then sometimes you learn how to work through a mistake, because the problem is that if we don't quote unquote make mistakes in here, you know, we keep singing it through upstairs in the church, you know, what if we do run into a mistake? How do you deal with it?
Well, I gotta say, like the last year has been kind of helpful with that, because like you always make mistakes. Well, I do anyway.
Yeah.
But like you kind of know where you have to end up, and so like it's. I think just having more experience with that, I've been able to like kind of like sing your way out of them a little bit better.
Well,
Like, you know, I have to end up with this pattern. I know like that pattern sounds like, so I better like try to get back up to where that pattern's gonna make sense.
And there have been times like experienced chanters, I won't say they're not professional, but where the music gets covered, and then it's like, I'm gonna finish it, and we're gonna get to the right note. It's just we messed up, and I don't know how what we did, but we'll get there. And so it's somewhere along the line. It's like, this is not feeling right.
Oh, so you just like say,
yeah,
we're not singing this right. We're just gonna try to get to the.
Yeah, the music gets covered, and it's like, somebody finishes it, whoever it is. Sometimes we're able to finish it kind of together because if we know what we're doing and we can kind of read each other.
Yeah.
But let's say if I go to the music, So strange is thy crucifixion and descent into Hades. Let's say it went, O friend, we know that, O friend, we know we're supposed to go. It's like we're not gonna finish right. Friend of man.
Right.
And there have been times where instead of, like, let's say, for thou didst despoil, the next section, instead of for thou didst despoil it, for thou didst despoil it, and then we're like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And then it has a K-Isan, and then we're like, that's not right. That's not what I wanted. But there have been times where we just keep reading at face value, and sometimes there's a mistake in the music that we read correctly, but it's not written right. And then you have to figure out, well, somewhere we went wrong, and then get back to where we should be. So, okay, let's read this. For he has established the world. Or for he established, there's no has. For he established the world, which shall not be shaken. Strange is thy crucifixion and descent into Hades, O friend of man. For thou didst despoil it, and is gloriously raise up with thyself the captives of old. Since thou art God, thou didst open paradise and make us worthy thereof. Wherefore do thou grant forgiveness of sins also unto us, who glorify thine arising on the third day, and deem us worthy to dwell in paradise, since thou alone art compassionate. Nice.
Yeah, that was easy.
Nice.
It's easy when you don't change keys.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
At least it's easy now.
would you say the majority don't change keys, really? Most of them are like this, right?
Yep, yeah, these Aposticha don't seem to be as complex. I mean, they're longer, but the Theotokion were actually.
Yeah.
There's more happening.
I don't know whether this is because it's at the end of the service.
It's
They
like,
assume
come
you're
on.
kind of getting a little tired
I
here.
think people lose steam, even the
I
writers.
think that's it too. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's still
No
all
more
this.
tricks.
Even
No
the
more
monks.
tricks.
Yeah.
Even the monks stuff.
Yeah, even the monks get. So that's
Make it all die.
I'm fine with sight reading the next one too.
Oh, okay.
There is a scale change, but I'm fine with sight reading it. Just to kind of,
Oh, sure.
because then next week we do grave mode, and then
Oh, yeah.
and grave mode is the last one.
You don't want to.
The Aposticha Theotokion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Oh,
there.
we'll get to that end and get the grave mode. Huh?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, there's the.
Because then grave
Oh,
mode
here
is
it
the
is.
last thing I think that we have in the in this whole set, and then we go back to the beginning and do hard chromatic and soft chromatic brief, and then we do hard chromatic and soft chromatic slow, and then we do something completely different if I can actually understand how it works.
Okay.
That's my hope.
Oh, it's under this one. So the
and
scale
raise
change is
us.
a hard chromatic.
Yep.
And then there's a back to diatonic.
Yep. So it's just a little stint into hard chromatic.
Of course, it's grievous transgression. So
Yep.
you're gonna go hard chromatic on that.
Yep. Of course. Do you want to look at that first, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's look through that little phrase. All right, maybe from raises up, so you can get the diatonic going into it.
So and raise us up.
Pa.
And raise us up from grievous transgressions, O friend of man, and save us.
Oh, that's an interesting ending.
Yep. So yeah, it just kind of goes right in real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
From the
It's a
beginning of
short
that
one. Boy, they're like cutting you some slack here at the end.
Yep. Holiness. Holiness becometh thy house, O Lord, unto length of days. They forgot to switch us back.
What?
There was no tempo change.
Oh, you're right.
Holiness becometh thy house, O Lord, unto length.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Unto length of days. Next one. O thou who didst accept the passion in the flesh for our sake, and didst arise on the third day, do thou heal the passions of our flesh, and raise us up from grievous transgressions. O friend of man, and save us. Let's do one more time from
And raises
do
up.
thou. Let's do thou heal the passions of our flesh and raise us up.
Yep.
Right at that page turn. Do thou heal the passions of our flesh, and raise us up from grievous transgressions. O friend of man, and save us.
That's better.
Cool. What are your thoughts? Aposticha Theotokion, or be done?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll save that for next week.
Okay, cool. And I have one final question.
Alright.
So we'll do that. We'll go into grave tone.
Mhm.
Then we'll go into hard chromatic and soft chromatic. Kind of go back to the beginning and talk about them because we haven't discussed them in depth, really, and the tones. Now the question I pose: after them, there's one other thing: the grave tone diatonic, which I'll have to see if I decide to do that or not. It's a tough thing, and we will probably never sing it.
Really?
And it's one of those things that I'm not well acquainted enough with
What's
it.
that? When you sing like the brief stuff in the grave one, what's that?
So the brief stuff we've been doing, and actually the slow stuff we'll be doing is enharmonic, pretty much enharmonic.
Okay.
There's a little bit of diatonic in there, but those are from Ga.
Yeah.
The diatonic grave mode that we talk about would be from Zo,
From Zoe.
which
Okay.
is a whole nother thing.
Oh, okay.
So it has a whole nother feel, and that's where it gets the term grave mode from, because it's the lowest. It starts from Zo, and Zo is
Low
the
Zo.
lowest note. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The lowest note of any of the tones. None of them start on Zo except for grave mode, and that's where it's this heaviness. So heaviness.
But you don't use it a lot, is that what you're saying?
You do for certain things, but we wouldn't.
I mean, when would you ever use it? I mean, like in a parish, like when would you, assuming you were doing a lot of Byzantine stuff?
Cherubikim?
Oh, okay.
You definitely do it. Anything long. Doxology, oftentimes you could do it for a doxology. You would do the glories, the Dogmatic Theotokion you would do in diatonic from Zoe. We've never sung it, like at least in Pittsburgh, we've never done that.
Oh, okay.
I have done the Cherubic hymn from that, and we were doing it with a priest who was a chanter priest. And I went back every morning. We did a morning liturgy with our OCF, and I was like, so we're doing tone 4 today. He was like, good. You know, I went back and I was like, we're gonna do grave mode from Zoe. He was like, nice. And I was like, so you good? And he was like, all right, I got this. And it was funny because we messed up. I messed up. I was the one chanting the Cherubic hymn with my friend who was doing Isan, and I messed it up somehow. I got on some note, and he came out and did the all of you Orthodox Christians, and he got us back into it.
Really?
And it's funny because you could tell. I don't know whether he just knew it, but he was like, all of you Orthodox Christians, may the Lord God remember you in His kingdom. And I was like, that's where we should have ended. That's what it was. And we were not there. And it was wonderful. And then all his petitions were good with that. It's tough and it's weird. And you can tell not only is it grave because it's the lowest note of the scale that we would sing, but it also has this heaviness and this somberness and this mysteriousness that the other tones don't match, because it just, I don't want to say it's just weird, which is why I don't want to do it.
So
I
the
love
grave-
it. I love it tremendously. It's just weird. So
From the 1 to 8, which is the grave? The
Seventh.
Seventh.
yeah,
Buddies.
buddies. Yeah.
It's
It might be kind of fun to like
But is it related to
like
the
try
third
a
in
piece.
some way?
a relatively short piece.
Yeah, and what I
Yeah.
might do is, if I can, I'll try and see if I can get the chanter from St. Sophia's to help us out.
Okay.
Because I've been with him when he's done it, and when you sing with someone, you're like, well, of course, it makes
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And then you go and do it on your own, and you're like, nope, I have no idea. No idea.
I can't make it
Um,
sound the same.
But then what I'd like to do is to discuss the Vespers service. Since we're doing all Vespers
Sure.
hymns, is to go from the beginning to the end, at least one session, maybe 2 sessions, depending,
Oh, that'd be great.
and maybe combined with the other class, and maybe opening it up to the parish and just saying, there's no chanting tonight. We're going to talk about Vespers, what it means from beginning to end, nuances, how it's put together, and what to look at, and the little things that people probably don't normally think about. So I don't know when would be a good time to do that, but that's on my radar, is to do that,
I'd love to hear it.
and just to go stepwise through it,
Yeah.
and to really take time. Not only to say, here's how you put together the hymns of the day, but also to say, okay, we're doing Vespers. Why are we doing it? How does this work? And how does it fit into the cycle of the services? Why are these psalms where they are, and things like that. So
the theology as well as the methodology.
yeah, the theology and methodology. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I'd like to do that.
All right.
So I don't know when would be a good time, but we'll figure that out. If there's I don't know when. Yeah, I'll have to think about a good week. So, but yeah.
Okay,
It
cool.
sounds like a Lenten thing.
Yeah. Why? And you?
Because Lent is the time to learn things.
Do you mean the
What do
nativity?
you plan to do?
The nativity Lent, or the nativity Lent, or the Great Lent?
Oh, Great Lent. Well, Nativity Lent is too soon.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
summer. It's here.
Okay.
Practically.
So yeah, Friday.
I forgot. No more
So
chicken.
yeah, maybe when we begin
Maybe the
Great Lent, because
Great
by that
Lent
time we
sounds
should
like
be
a
done
Great
all the
Lent.
Vespers hymns, I would
Sure.
think.
Yeah, it sounds like a Great Lent time.
Yeah, and maybe I'll tell Father about it, and maybe give that enough time to say, here, like, to the parish, block off a Monday if you're interested. We'll be talking about Vespers and answering questions and things like that. Hopefully, hopefully.
Well, don't let that push off the other things you got to do.
I-
Like
like the
I talked to Ho
antiphons.
about that. He said, "Oh yeah, sounds great."
The antiphons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to do that again.
Yeah.